All right. Hope you're all having a good weekend. I'm going to try to run through this as fast as I can, make it short for you. There is a little bit of information to go over, something real interesting, actually, I'm going to talk about here in a second. I am still working on this, smart alert Discord for, entries and exits for altcoins. I know a lot of you expressed interest for that, so just be aware that I'm still testing it. It could be a week or two before it's ready. This does take a lot of work. But just currently, a couple of plays I can give you that are showing up. Let's see, is this today? Yeah. So these are sales. So let's see if I can find a good one. Looks like some people are buying Hex. Smart Money's buying something called Hello. There's a little bit of a buy on P's there from two wallets. Doesn't mean that these are automatically just going to go straight up, but there is interest in them right now. What else? There's one that just came through for Pepe. These are all buys, by the way. What else? Pendle. No, Pendle, that was a sale. Somebody bought one called Alt, ALT. So anyway, that's just it's not gonna, I think I'll probably will leave it looking like this, but there's a lot more features that are going to be on the server that I'm going to make. Um, it's going to be an AI smart money driven alert system basically. And I want to get this right before it's time to, present it to all of you. There's a buy for something called Wait. I think that's that hourglass coin. Somebody sold Dusk there. So anyway, it's not going to look completely like this. I mean, I'm going to try to make it look as good as it can look, but I'll be there in the server to help decipher, what are buys, what are sells. Um, I'll do some TA in the server as well. We'll have like weekly picks, stuff like that. So just be aware, I got a lot of exciting plans for it that'll help everybody out. What else do I want to look at? Okay, so let's just real quick go through Bitcoin. On this presidential chart that I made last year, nothing's really changed. We haven't broken out yet of this order block, which is basically equal to these order blocks from the past the past two 4-year cycles here, where it rejected there, which I think we're more like this pattern here, most likely, because you got this hill, which is that one, and then we're working on this next one. So if you were to put a trend line, something like that, we could come down here to 34, 35K and then do like an ascending triangle type move where it just kind of a lot of buy pressure on the bottom here, and then it finally pushes it out of the breakout, kind of like it did here. But that's not to say it can't just break out now. I mean, it could, but that would be much different than we've seen in the past. We've never seen a left translated cycle where it happened before halving. So, from what I'm seeing, it looks very similar to what it has in the past. Here is the pair that basically helps to predict what altcoins are going to do in the near future anyway. We had a breakout of ETH BTC and it came down and tested it perfectly of the breakout, or at least 50% of the breakout here. Could still come down to here. I mean, I'm not ruling that out, but this is the path that I was thinking it could take. And basically that's just equal to this one back here in 2019, where it created this M structure after the breakout right there. So, could be doing the same, or maybe we're here and it's further into February 2020 where it did the breakout of this line, but it's still coming down and it's going to make kind of like well, this is more like a W, but I guess you could call it an M as well. But this is what I'm expecting because there is a lot of resistance right here, which was the same resistance back here. And as far as low time frame Bitcoin, here's daily. I had posted yesterday. Well, this is kind of the same idea I was just talking about, but we have to get above this. What is it? 42K zone, kind of right in here. If you don't get a daily candle above that, then there's a better chance it's coming down here to this long-term trend line. And the reason why this is important down here at 34, 35K is there's a lot of liquidity. There's A lot of buy orders. There's a lot of uh, stop losses set in that area. The only way we would get below this trend line, in my opinion, is if those stop losses continued to hit and you started getting a cascading effect. And then I could see us coming down to like 30 or 31. But for now, I really believe that it's probably around 34, 35, 36K, that zone where we'd find a bottom. All right. So this is the thing we actually covered route in, I think it was the last video because it popped up on the smart. And I am going to get into some smart money stuff here in a second. Not just route. So I'll show you some of the stuff that's showing up on Nansen today. But we had talked about route because it popped up on one of the smart alerts. And well, anyway, here it is, RAUTE. It had a big dip today. And I wanted to show, yeah, here it is right here. So today it dipped, what, 40%? Oh, no, I'm looking at the weekly. This week it dipped about 40%. On the daily, it dipped 34%. And we can actually find areas like this. Like if I had been watching, I mean, obviously this was a support area because this is like a 600-day sideways move. But what does it also look like? And that's a cup and handle, right? I don't really like this coin too much. I mean, I like the project, but I don't like the how long it's taken to do anything. I mean, this was back, here's 2021 right here. Of course, we can't see all the price action back here at 2020, but let's see if that was actually, it's not as bad as I thought now that I think about it, because this was the top. This wick right here was around that Bitcoin top, October, November. It actually topped out again here after Bitcoin had already made its top. So I guess if you think about it, let's see what that drop is. It's still a 94% drop, but it held its gains pretty well now that I'm looking at it. The problem is we can't see historically. Let me check something. I want to see if there's like a more complete chart here. No, it only goes back to January 2021. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like a cup and handle to me so far. It sure didn't have much of a correction then compared to most, but it did have a longer, I guess you could say it went sideways longer, maybe. When was this? Yeah, I guess it went sideways longer than most other coins before the breakout. Yeah, so here's the breakout. You could call it a cup and handle. There is some support. Let me put it back. Oh, yeah, this is the weekly. Let's see what the monthly looks like. There's a lot of support here, maybe. Where's this other support coming in? And it could come. Yeah, I mean, I like this actually where you've kind of got this zone in here. And really, you could take it down to here. Might have to go down to a lower time frame. Yeah, there we go. So this shoulder right here, I think it could still come further into this shoulder. So the $4 area is definitely in play, and maybe even the 350 area. It could come down as low as that, and that would put you right into this support on the monthly. I think I looked at. Yeah, I think that was the monthly support. So you'll get a lot of buyers coming back in right here, and actually they already are a little bit. But just because it bounced once here doesn't mean it can't come revisit the wick and maybe even come just a little bit lower. Because I guarantee you, there's definitely no bullish divergences yet, even on a low time frame. Yeah, I mean it's way oversold for sure. But if you're talking about targets going back up, I mean it becomes real simple with this coin. You've got one right here at about, I don't know, 1497 maybe. See what it looks like on daily. Maybe 1408. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it that closely, but I'd say that would be if it didn't come up and get above this swing failure pattern here, this would be a safe sell, I would imagine, on the daily chart, about right there. Yeah, 1408 or so. And then on a lower time frame, or I mean a shorter time frame target, maybe 792 or $8 somewhere in there. Let's see. It really depends on how far it dips down, how much further it goes. You could even say there's one right here as well. Yeah. So you got around $6 and then $8 and then 14. That would be the targets going back up. And maybe wait a day would be my opinion, but who knows? People may buy right back into it quickly. But I do think that there's some buying opportunities still in this area, probably. It might, come up first and then come down. Trying to think of a coin that's done something like this before. Did Inge do this? I'm just trying to find a pattern here that looks somewhat similar for some reference. I don't think this was the one I was thinking of, though. Yeah, not really. I mean, kind of this, but it corrected too much to be similar to that. Anyway, I mean, it's clear that it's a cup and handle looking structure. I mean, there is a chance that you get this trend line right here, and maybe it comes back up here, but then it fails one more time. And I suppose there is a chance it could go down to $3, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think this zone is the right zone, especially since it just did a breakout of this long consolidation. I mean, this could be a really good buy for the bull run. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about on this is, I mean, you're starting to see some buys come back in, but the thing that I found interesting is none of the smart money were selling this dip. They're still holding because this right here is actually a liquidity provider. It's not an actual wallet. I mean, it is a wallet, but it's not an actual single entity or person. I think they call it a fund, is it? Yeah, it's a fund. But some of these are designated for providing liquidity. There could be kind of like a panic effect, though. Who knows? Some people may see that it dropped and they try to get out. So you may still get another good buying opportunity on this one. Trying to remember what else I wanted to look at. So it's a 91 million FDV. Oh, I remember what it was. So it balances. I'm going to show you the one that actually sold. Here it is right here. This high balance. It was 120K, or was it 120,000 token? So if we look at this wallet that sold it, let's just see what that amount was. Yeah, here it was. They sent it to KuCoin and then they sold it there. So wow, it was a lot more than I thought. It was almost 600,000 total. And this is something I wanted to get into. I just when I saw this, I started looking at the news. I was like, okay, what's going on? And Master had actually done a thing on it where he called it before, ahead of time that it showed on the chart. It could go down to $4. And then I found this guy that posted within his thread. The news doesn't really move the market, but it's used as a scapegoat, right? So if any of these projects wanted to, and believe me, it happens, if they wanted to drop the price using FUD, they can. It's their project. And so something happened. I don't really follow, this coin or anything, but apparently something happened where the community members expressed concerns about the root token supply, and then Router Protocol made an announcement, and basically them talking about it remains a deflationary token, which is good. You want that. I mean, from a narrative perspective, it at least needs to be deflationary. This person actually recapped it pretty well. So apparently they had said they were going to do some tokenomics changes and the community didn't like it. And so they, quote unquote, reverted their decision, uh, which it was just FUD, I think. So just understand that this can happen. I mean, it is highly a manipulated market and they're going to do stuff like this sometimes. But the support levels, the take profit levels are definitely in the chart. When you get stuff like this, it's usually the bottom, though it can dip a little bit more. And same thing with Bitcoin. When you get a lot of FUD news, sometimes it's the bottom. And flip side of that is whenever you get, a lot of very bullish news, like IPOs, like Coinbase IPO, or we just saw it recently with the ETFs. So just understand at the top, you're going to get that very bullish news. At the bottom, you're going to get a lot of FUD. Okay, I think that's about it. I actually haven't checked my notifications today. Let me just make sure there's nothing here. Um, looks like CFB's responding to some of the people that have been talking bad about him again. Let's see. I just want to make sure none of you did a response. Oh yeah, this guy here. This guy is such a fodder for Cubic. Somehow he's married to the coin IOTA, even though CFB doesn't work on it anymore. So he likes to, yeah, he likes to post a lot of stuff about trying to make CFB look bad, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, nobody can deny what CFB has done. He's got two of the top 10 ICO coins of all time for crypto. Yeah, I mean, see here, he's posting some facts about IOTA Foundation doing things that's actually going to hurt its community. That's one of the reasons he left, is because he's actually, let me find that. I wonder if I can find that. Because he responded to one of these guys that was fudding Cubic. Oh, yeah, here it is. Um, he says he was talking to this guy here, that IOTA guy that was fudding Cubic. He said the market doesn't agree with you. IOTA had much higher market cap with me. And then without me, it got infested by amateur engineers and quote unquote, I want to be paid indefinitely, so I'll never finish the stuff coders. So that's why you don't get married to a crypto for multiple 4-year cycles is, you want to ride the narrative for the current 4-year cycle. And then, this person just doesn't understand that, which really CFB, he actually posted this by Braver Crypto, where it is some good facts that he's kind of, well, we'll just look at it real quick. Yeah, Braver has to respond to these people all the time too that are talking trash about CFB and Cubic. Well, actually, they don't talk so much about Cubic, but they like to talk trash about CFB. But he's basically just saying, CFB didn't abandon IOTA. The project abandoned their vision and decentralization in favor for money and centralization. So that's why CFB left. I mean, he explains it all here, but the people that are fudding that for whatever reason hold a grudge against CFB, they're not going to read this. They don't care. They just want to keep being negative. We don't need none of that. So I'm probably not even going to respond back to this guy. He actually came He tried to post a bunch of stuff here to my response, so I'm not even going to respond to him though. So if you come across this guy, definitely unfollow him if you're following him. He's not, well, he doesn't have many followers anyway. Let's see. I think that's about it. I'm not going to go over too much more today. I wanted to try to keep it short. I know I didn't do a very good job of it. Here's just a couple posts I made on Twitter. A caught a whale added to their bags yesterday. That could be a good sign. We don't know for sure. We'll see. But keep watching my Twitter here. You'll see some updates that might help you. Yeah, this post actually got a lot of engagement. I was just showing how CFB, the Cubic founder, he was responsible for, well, I said one of the top projects in IOTA. That was one of the highest market cap gainers. Well, one of the highest multiples from the bottom in 2017, but also NXT was, and a lot of people remember that. So he's very well respected, and the people coming at him aren't very well respected. So MOG is a coin I talked about that could have a breakout soon. So keep an eye on that meme coin. Oh yeah, Cubic had their CMC listing and the new website is completed. New website looks really good. It blinds me, but it looks good. A little bit too bright, but there's some great information here. This useful proof of work narrative is going to become bigger and bigger as this market matures. Okay, I'm going to end it there. Just check my Twitter here if you want to read some more there. And next week we'll go over some more things. Again, I'm still working hard on the alerts and everything here and getting the channel set up, but it's going to take a little bit longer. I mean, this is a lot of work, and I want to make sure it's good before people join the server. I want to make sure the alerts are working the way I want them to work. And there's going to be some cool features that I'm going to add to it too. I'm looking at some other options. Okay, well, y'all have a good weekend, and we will do this again next week.